Awesome. Okay. So I'm going to move on through here. I would like to share our agenda to start with. I'm going to give a brief KAEE overview here next, talk about who we are as facilitators. We'll acknowledge the land that we're on. We're going to share about our vision for this group, the learning pathways that we're on. And then we have our guest speakers and the discussion, and then we'll go into the next steps following this meeting. So since we have so many new folks joining us today, I just want to spend a brief moment sharing a little bit about KAEE as the organization that's hosting this community of practice. We are the Kentucky Association for Environmental Education. We're the professional membership association for environmental educators in the state, and our primary role is to connect educators in Kentucky. We provide support, resources, networking, and most importantly, increasing environmental knowledge and community engagement in Kentucky through the power of environmental education. Goal 3 of our newly adopted strategic plan outlines the main reasons that we're here today. And this all carried over from our previous strategic plan, just with some slight updates here today. So we want to foster an accessible environmental ed community where all feel valued and included. Our strategies for achieving this goal include prioritizing ongoing professional development opportunities and resources to our board members, our staff, our organizational members, and our partners, and just the general EE community to ensure a welcoming environment for everyone. And then we want to embed principles of fairness, access, and respect across our organization, both internally and externally. So as an organization and as individuals here today, we do not pretend to have all of the answers, as you will see as we go through this discussion. But that's why we call this a community of practice. This is a place where we learn from and with each other. And we are here to grapple with the inequities that exist in our field and practice dialogue around these topics with honesty and empathy. So with that, we'll move on to introduce our community of practice facilitators. And I'll go first since I'm talking. I am Brittany Ray. I'm the Deputy Director here at KAEE. I've been on staff since 2016. I am so excited to continue being a co-facilitator for this community of practice. It's been a wonderful experience these past, over 3 years, learning around all of these topics together with my fellow facilitators and members of the EE community. And so, yeah, I'll let Roberta go next.
I'm Roberta Burns. I've been the co-facilitator of this group since we started, which I honestly don't remember how long it's been now, but we've we've continued to meet and just really it's a wonderful group. I work for state government. And those of you who are new here today, you will hear us old timers throw around an acronym a lot, and that is EE. Hopefully, you figured out that we're talking about environmental education, EE. So glad to be here, and I'll pass it over to David.
Hey, my name is David Logsden. I am a non-formal environmental educator, and I volunteer with a nonprofit in Hazard, Kentucky called Pathfinders of Perry County. I am also the vice chair of the board of the KAEE, and I've been a co-facilitator here for, oh gosh, it's not quite 2 years, but it's close to that, I'd say, and it's been a really wonderful experience for me. Just in the beginning, I had reservations of joining because I'm the least diverse or marginalized individual in the world. I don't belong to any um, groups that I feel like need to benefit from this, quote air quotes there, but it's been amazing for me because it's been a space for me to just be quiet, listen, learn, grow, and try to create a space for people to share their experiences and their insight on the things that they've personally experienced, and how I can change the things I do to make other people's lives more fulfilling and to remove barriers for other people.
Awesome. Thank you, David and Roberta. I believe our first session of this was in 2022, and we've been meeting pretty much bi-monthly since then. So we've learned a lot together for quite some time now. It's awesome. All right, so we just want to acknowledge the land that we reside on and meet today. Most of us are in Kentucky, and that's the ancestral and unceded territories of the Yuchi, Osage, and Shawnee and Cherokee peoples. And we invite you to learn more about the original stewards and caretakers of this land that we call home through this really great resource called Native Land Digital, and I'll put the link in the chat if you've never seen it before. It's really useful and beneficial. So there's that. Okay. So for those of you that are new, which we know is many, we're a learning community working to foster and support practices of racial justice, equity, inclusion, and diversity and accessibility in the outdoors and in environmental work. It's hosted, this community of practice is hosted by KAEE. And like I said earlier, we don't pretend to have all the answers. We're just here to learn from and with each other. Our learning pathways, and these are just our learning objectives basically for this group that we work towards with every single session that we host together. We want to increase our vocabulary, engage across human differences, and of course, embrace our overall racial diversity and belonging journey. And before I move on to the next slide, or I'll go ahead and move on to the next slide, I just want to take a second to introduce Roberta Burns, who's already introduced herself, but just know that Roberta is, she's a past KAEE board member, longtime board member. She is one of our biggest cheerleaders and advocates, and I do not know where KAEE would be without Roberta's support in so many areas. Like she said, she's been a part of this action team and this facilitation team from the beginning, and we just go to her for so much and rely on her, and we wouldn't be able to do this community of practice as well as we do without her. And I'm so grateful that she's here to teach us all of these things about accessibility in digital spaces. And I'll let her introduce herself a little bit more if she wants to share more about why she's leading this part of the session, and then she'll also introduce her special guest. So, Roberta, you can take it away from here.
Thank you. Incredibly generous introduction. I started my accessibility journey back in 2019, just before COVID hit. I was working with University of Kentucky Professor Lauren Cagle. I don't know if she's on this call or not, but she and I decided to basically co-teach and lead and learn in a course on digital accessibility for students in the writing and rhetoric and digital design course. And this was mind-blowing to me. We created some user guides that were used in the early days here in our cabinet. I did some early trainings back in 2020 when everything was locked down for our staff on how to make their PowerPoints more accessible and their Word docs more accessible. So it was the beginning of a journey, and now, I guess I would say about 7 years later, I feel like I've reached maybe third grade in my understanding of this topic. So I'm a proud third grader, and maybe I'll even advance a little further. So what I would like to do is share my screen. I'm looking for the share button. Is it down at the bottom? Oh, yes, there it is. And I'm just going to jump in with a very brief introduction as to what we're talking about today, and then I'm going to introduce our special guests and let them do some really cool demonstrations here. So let me share my screen. Share. Hang on, this one. All right. All righty. Let me minimize a few things. So, by the way, I went ahead and left my accessibility assistant open. Are you able to see these slides? I don't see a little red line around them.
Yeah, we see the whole PowerPoint.
The whole thing.
Screen.
Okay, great,
Yeah.
great. I'm going to go into the actual presentation now, but I left my accessibility assistant out so you could see there are no accessibility issues with my PowerPoint. I'm so proud. So now we're going to open up my slide program here, just a couple of slides, just to talk, give an overview about what is going on with this and why we're talking about it at this time. Usually I start by asking any group that I'm working with if they practice inclusive design. Do they even know what that means? You put so much effort into making your PowerPoints and your flyers and your fact sheets and your social media posts beautiful and visually appealing, but can everybody get to them? Can people who use Braille readers access the information in them? Can people who use a sip and puff mechanism to operate the keyboard access them? What about the color and contrast? Can people see what you're trying to convey? Are you using good color and contrast choices? So these are just some of the things that I have found that those of us who don't go through life with these impairments may not be aware that this is even a thing. So the good news is that everything we do to make our designs of our web pages and our documents better, it's going to benefit all of us. Headings will make it easier to navigate a document. If you put descriptive link text next to any link on your web page, then everybody's going to know where they're going to go. It's just going to be a lot clearer. Alternative text is descriptive text that is attached to any image on your website or in your documents, and that ensures meaning isn't lost even if people disable their images or their browser or their phone doesn't load the images because they're too information heavy. So that's super important. And then instead of using images of text or pictures that have text embedded in them, using actual real text means that a user can adjust the size and type of font to suit their needs. So I think of digital accessibility helping everybody in the same way that if you all remember, if you're old enough, do you remember when the ADA was first passed, and within 10, 20 years, we start seeing things like curb cuts in sidewalks initially for people who use wheelchairs, but those curb cuts are super helpful to people who are rolling carts, taking a wagon, a stroller, things like that. So these changes help everyone. Good color and contrast as well. So there, if you weren't aware, if you are not currently working for a state agency or university, you may not be aware that the ADA was recently updated. It was published a couple of years ago, almost 2 years ago, and it is going to kick in. They gave basically a 2-year window for this. It will kick in April of this year. Amongst the people required to follow this are government agencies, generally serving 50,000 or more. That applies to a lot of different government agencies and also universities. And basically this law change, among other things, requires that our web content should be accessible to people with disabilities, and that includes our web pages, documents, videos, forms, and then any new social media posts made after April 24th, 2026. So there are a few exceptions to this, but they're generally for old stuff that is not currently being used. So it's a big deal. These exceptions include older documents that were made before the date of compliance that are not currently used for participating in government services, and then stuff that has been specifically archived and identified as meeting these qualities. It was created before the compliance date. It's only being kept for reference or research or record keeping. It's specifically identified as archived content, and it hasn't been changed. So what makes content accessible? This is the gold standard, the Web Content Accessibility Guidelines, WCAG 2.1 Level AA. This has basically 4 big categories of guidelines, excuse me, that web content must follow. It must be perceivable to people with many different kinds of accessible tech and disabilities, operable, understandable, and robust. Lots of people need digital content, and it's not just people who have visual impairments. People who have color blindness or color deficiency, people who have behavioral disorders as well, ADHD, cognitive limitations. What if you have a temporary disability and you can no longer use a mouse or even a keyboard? You've had an accident or something like that. So there are lots of different groups of people that need accessible digital content, not just people with visual impairments. So you could imagine that there are quite a few agencies that are, maybe it would not be mild to say, freaking out about this law, and they are, because they have very little expertise in this topic. Many of them are still at the stage of asking why, because they really have never thought, the leadership has maybe never thought about this, if they don't have the disability themselves. And then there is the capacity. We don't have we don't have the capacity, the staff that have the expertise on fixing our documents and fixing our web pages. And so people are scrambling to try to figure out how they are going to comply. And I will say, you know, even if these agencies had started on day one 2 years ago, a lot of them would still be facing some major hurdles of lacking expertise or capacity. Many of our documents are made only for visual learners. We just don't think about it, but we have quite a few people in our cabinet that love to use Canva, and I know a lot of nonprofits use Canva and forms, but our Canva and form documents are not visually, they're not digitally accessible to people using screen readers and that kind of thing. And so it makes it really difficult. We're going to have to try to figure out how to come up with accessible alternatives, or just approach things completely differently. So you might be thinking, you know, what is it like when stuff isn't accessible? If you don't have a disability, how would you even know, right? So I want to introduce, and I'm going to stop sharing my screen here, our special guest that I invited. Did I stop sharing? Hopefully, nope, I did not. I hit the wrong thing. There we go. Perfect. So when we were talking about this topic, and with the compliance deadline coming up, and how a lot of us are frantically, you know, trying to get ready for that date, I mentioned that I have a couple of colleagues in state government that I often will ask questions to when I hit a roadblock in this topic. And I invited Samantha Farthing and Carol Weber to join us today. And with the hopes that they, first of all, could speak to what it's like when you encounter something that's not accessible, but also, more importantly, I think, for us to be able to experience what is it like? What is accessible technology like when it's in use? And how does it interact with our documents and our web pages? So with that, I am going to let Carol Weber and Samantha Farthing to introduce themselves. And Carol, I'll let you go first and tell us your name and where you work and what you do, just in a capsule.
In a very short capsule. So my
Yeah.
name is Carol Weber, and I work at the Kentucky Office of Vocational Rehabilitation. And in my role there, I have a lot of different, widely varied tasks, but one of them is I am our assistive technology branch manager. So I work with individuals who work with our agency to get employed who have disabilities. So these people will be people who are using the assistive. Some of them use the assistive technology we're demonstrating today, some use others. I am also the director of the CATS Network, and in Kentucky, the CATS Network is what we call our AT Act, Assistive Technology Act project. There's one in every state and territory, I think 56 of us. And part of what we do is help people in our state with their digital accessibility. We do a lot of other stuff too. But today, that's what we're going to be talking about. And I do want to mention, if anybody's sitting there thinking, oh, I work in a county and it's a small one, and thank goodness I don't have to meet these requirements because we don't have anywhere near 50,000 people, you get an extra year. You have to comply in April of 2027. So that's great, but you still will want to be compliant. And it takes a while. It really does. We've been working on this for a really long time in the Office of Voc Rehab, and we're making progress, but it's a lot of work. And I'm going to let Sam introduce herself. So, Sam?
Hi guys. So I'm Samantha Farthing, or Samantha. I don't care which way you pronounce it. It's spelled that way. It's just whatever way you want to pronounce it. Doesn't bother me. Um, I am the CATS Coordinating Center Director. I just started in November. Before that, I was a vocational rehabilitation counselor. More importantly, for what we're doing today, I am someone who is blind, and I use a screen reader every day to do everything that I do on the computer. So that's what I'm going to be doing today, is demonstrating that to you guys. And unless somebody has an objection, I'm just going to go ahead and jump straight into it.
So first, what we want to do while Sam's getting set up here and sharing her screen is she's going to show us, like, when she comes to a new website, how she likes to navigate through, and talk a little bit about that as she shows us the KAEE website.
Yep. Okay. And I'm going to hit share screen now, and you guys are going to hear my screen reader. It is going really fast because I'm used to listening to it, and this is the speed that I normally listen to it. I will slow it down for you guys when I start doing the demonstration, so don't freak out. All right, let's slow it down. All right. So when I get to a website, I'm going to show you how I normally do it. Now, everybody who uses a screen reader, well, first we should probably
Hey,
say what a screen
Sam,
reader
Sam,
is. Yeah.
we're not hearing it.
Oh, crap. Can I hear that?
Nope.
All right, hang on. I'm just going to stop and start over. Of course, there's always an issue. Okay. All right, you hear?
WND screen.
Yes.
Okay.
Participants can
Now
now
it's
see your
slowed
screen.
down, so.
JAWS subscription. Home IE Google Chrome.
All right. Anyway, what I was saying is we should probably say what a screen
Home
reader
IE.
is. So a screen reader is someone who is blind or visually impaired is going to use to read to them what is on the screen so that I can use the computer, because obviously I cannot see it. It layers, it puts a layer of extra commands on top of your normal system. So I get extra keystrokes that I can use to navigate and do things like that because I can't use a mouse. So there are lots of different ways that I could navigate this website, and everybody is going to do it differently. If it is a new website that I go to and I'm not familiar with it at all, the way that I'm going to start out navigating is to just use my arrow keys to go down the page, and that way I don't miss anything. Because I don't know what's there and I want to find out. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to start hitting down the arrow, and we're going to go down the page and listen to what we've got here.
Skip the main content button. Visited link www.ki.org. Visited link KI. Site navigation region. List of 5 items. About button menu collapsed.
Okay, so I want to show you something here. So I'm interested in this program and I want to find out more about it. So excuse me, I'm going to try to activate this menu item and see what's here.
Space. Banner region. Site navigation region. List with 5 items. About button menu. Press space to activate the menu and navigate with arrow keys.
Okay, so that was some help text that it gave me. So I should be able to navigate this. I'm hoping a sub menu popped up and I should be able to navigate with my arrow keys. So I'm going to hit the arrow keys. And I am, and nothing is happening. Okay, so, well, I know sometimes if that doesn't work, tab will work. So I'm going to hit tab and see what happens there.
Home KI. More about pages button to activate. Press enter.
Okay, nope. So let's see if I can activate this button.
Enter.
Nope, nothing happened.
Programs button menu.
So I cannot activate any of these menu items at all. So if I want to get into these, I'm just out of luck. I can't do it. So that's one thing. We have to make sure that any kind of button or link is able to be activated with the keyboard, not just the mouse. Okay, so now I'm going to go on down this page.
More programs pages button. Resources button menu collapsed. More resources pages button. Get involved button menu collapsed. More get involved pages button. Events plus news button menu collapsed. More events plus news pages button. List end. Site navigation region end. Search button. Login button. Link donate. Main region. Image by graphic WABA graphic.
Okay, and so there, I know that's a graphic. I have no idea what it is because there's no alternative text on this graphic. So I hope it's not important.
2024 KI primary white.png graphic.
Again.
Heading level 3 building a sustainable future.
Okay, so you heard it say heading level 3. That is one thing that is really important is structure on a web page because like I said, I have extra commands for navigation. So one of those commands allows me to jump to headings. So, if I'm familiar with a website and I know that each section has a heading, I can just use my H key and jump through headings. So it's very important to have a structure to all of your websites and documents and things.
List of 3 items. Link graphic adults standing under a tree in a circle at a KI workshop. Link who we are. Leading the field, building relate.
Oh, so what I'm looking for now, because we've, discussed some things and what we want to demonstrate. I know that there is a book club in the events thing, so I'm going to go try to sign up for the book club.
Link graphic 3 people participating in an environmental education activity. Link what we do.
And Sam, sorry, but you're still just navigating with the down arrow?
Yes, I'm just using the down arrow.
Collaborate, connect, teach, learn, facilitate, inspire, and grow. Link graphic 3 hands hold and opening a seed pod. Get involved button. Volunteer, donate, facilitate, advocate, and more. List end. Heading level 3 KI has served as Kentucky's leader in environmental education since 1976, promoting and influencing environmental education on national and statewide. Heading level 3 levels each day. Link learn more. List of 3 items. Visited link graphic copy of IMG0295 large.jpg.
And there's another picture that I don't know what it is.
Visited link events.
Okay, there's the events.
Enter.
We're going to go in there. Just hit enter.
Main region list with 3 items. Events link to activate. Press enter.
All right. And then just to save time, I'm going to use one of my navigation keys to jump down to the main region. So you all don't care that much, but it's R. So I'm going to hit R until I get to the main area of this website.
Visited link www. Site navigation region. Search button. Search region. Main region.
Okay, here we go.
IMG 2022112914100163 HDR. Heading level 3 calendar.
Okay, and because I've been on this page before, I know that there is not heading structure on this page. So I don't have a really fast way of jumping to the list of events. So I'm going to have to go down through this entire calendar.
From workshops and conferences to member meetups and parties, KI events include something for everyone. Subscribe to our mailing list to be sure you always know about the latest. Visited link subscribe. Previous month button. February 2026. Next month button. Today button. Sun. Mon. 2. Wed. Thu. Fri. Sat. 1. 2. 3. 4. 11:30 a.m. EE Community of Practice Accessibility in Digital Spaces. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9.
And so you can see how long this takes.
10.
So that's why we have all those extra keystrokes to jump to different areas and to different elements on the page, like buttons and headings and links and things like that. Because if I just use the down arrow key all the time to get through this page, it takes a very long
11,
time.
12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 2 p.m. Kai Book Club 25, 26, 27, 6 p.m. 28, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. List of 7 items. EE Community of Practice Accessibility in Digital Spaces graphic. Link EE Community of Practice Accessibility in Digital Spaces. Web Feb 04. Zoom. Link register now. Kai Book Club February 2026 graphic. Visited link Kai Book Club February 2026.
Okay. And I do want to say something
2 Feb 20 Zoom.
about
Visited link register now.
this link. So register now. If I'm going down the page like this, then, I know that corresponds to the book club, but there's also a way with my screen reader that I can just get a list of links on this page, which is another way that I can, navigate more quickly. And when it gives me that list, it's going to give me a ton of register now links. And I have no idea which link corresponds to what I'm registering to. So we need to make sure that we have titles for these links that are, detailed enough that tells what they are. So register for book club would be a better way of
Zoom. Visited link
titling
register now.
this.
Enter. List with 7 items. Register now link to activate. Press enter. 2 Feb 24.
And again, I'm going to jump down to the main region.
Kentucky Association for Wrapping to top. Visited link W. Site navigation region. Search button. Search main region. Kai Book Club February 2026 graphic.
And then I'm using down arrow again to go through this because I'm not sure exactly what's here. So I
2
need to
Feb
make sure I
24
read
Zoom.
everything.
Heading level 1 Kai Book Club February 2026. Join us as we discuss Aldo Leopold's Classics and County Almanac. Register button.
Okay. Now I'm going to register.
Enter. Register. Add your details heading level 1. Add your details heading. First name.
Okay. And so anytime somebody using a screen reader gets to something like this that I know is a form, almost everyone is going to use the tab key to navigate this form because it jumps you from one form field, edit field, to the next and lets you start typing right away. So I'm going to go ahead and do that.
First name edit required task pop-up.
Okay.
Blank.
So
Type in
that's
text.
good. It told me what I needed to put here.
Samanthia. Last name edit required task.
And it told me that
Home
this
Kai
field
number
was
usage 100.
required. That's very helpful too, that it actually tells me this is a required field, because if it doesn't, and I don't know that, maybe, phone number is required. But maybe I don't know that, and I don't feel like giving you my phone number, and I go all the way through the form and hit register, and there's an error,
Amsley
and I
icon.
have no idea what the issue is because I didn't know that was a required field. So that's really good too.
Farthing. Email edit required task pop-up.
And,
This field is required. This field is required.
yep, and see, I tried to go past that, and it told me that field is required. So that's really good.
Affiliation/organization edit required. Blank. Type in text.
And I'm not going to fill out the rest of this just for time. But anyway,
Submit button to activate.
Carol, do we want to go ahead and open it up for questions, or do you want me to go through the other stuff that I was going to show?
Let's see if anybody has any questions real
Okay.
quick.
Brittany, what is your website? What's the platform that it uses?
We use Wix as our website builder.
How do you spell that?
Wix.
Okay.
And we use their built-in event registration form as well. So that's what this is. It's also through Wix.
Well, the silence makes me think that minds are being blown right now. Maybe just a little.
Yes, and I just hope everyone knows that we have so much to do at KAEE to make our site better. If you saw my face at all, I'm dying over here watching this happen. But I am just grateful for this learning experience and opportunity to make things better.
And
Well, nobody
also,
does it perfectly, and you guys have
right.
done some great things. So
And the fact of the matter is
From
that
Stacy Gatchis.
Sam was able to get to the page to register for the book club. Like, she encountered issues along the way, but she was able to do what she needed to do, which is a positive.
and is not always the case. Let me tell you, I have tried to sign up for
Correct.
things before.
Sam, do you want to show them learning more about something like Project Wet?
Yes. Do you want me to just go there and show them the issue that we had instead of talking through all of the navigation just for
Sure.
time? Okay.
Mhm.
So I'm just going to go ahead and go find out more about Project Wet. So I'm just going to go back to the main
Registration form. Skip the main content, but visited link www.ki.org. Enter. Banner
page.
region www.ki.org. Link to activate. Press enter. Main region. Image by graphic. 2024 KI primary.
And then, so I know
Heading level 3.
that it is, I'm going to go ahead and do a list of the links on the page because it's going to be the fastest way to get there.
Links list view. Adults
There we go.
standing under a tree in a circle at a KI workshop. 4 of 25. Who we are. 5 of 20. 3 people participating in an environment. What we do. 7 of 20. 3 hands hold and opening a seat. Learn more. 9 of 25. Copy of IMG 0295 large Dutch 10 of 20. Events. 11 of 25. Copy of IMG 2023060114188027.
And that's because all of your graphics and pictures and stuff are links too, so they're listed in here.
Education. 13 of 25.
And that's what we want.
Enter. No links.
Samantha, I have a quick question.
Yep.
Wading through an image name that has that number of characters that mean nothing
Mhm.
must just be such a pain. Would you recommend that people change their image names to descriptive image text so that when it's going down, it's actually reading descriptive image text rather than IMG blah, 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 blah.
Yes. So if you put alt text, alternative text on an image, it will read the alt text instead of that image, JPG, blah, blah, blah.
Gotcha.
And everybody gets very intimidated by alt text, but it doesn't have to be that complicated. In fact, shorter is better. So tell me the main point that you're trying to get across with this image. So, whatever.
And also,
Yeah,
just
go ahead.
if there's if the image is decorative, you can mark it as decorative so
Mhm.
that the screen reader will ignore it entirely. Because honestly, Sam doesn't care about what the picture is unless it's giving her information.
Yes.
Okay, that's good to know. And then I did think of one more question. So a
Mhm.
lot of times, like that picture is a link, like you said, and then that button is also linked. So I had it so
Mhm.
people could either click on the picture and go to that place or click on the button. Would it be better to just not link the picture and only link the button itself?
So one of the accessibility things is not to have links to the same exact place, one right after the other.
Okay.
So yeah, I would probably just link the button. You might be able to increase the active area of that button so that if you hit near it on the graphic, you still basically get it. But also just linking the button of a group of people standing under a tree doesn't tell you what, like it is a group of people standing under a tree, but it doesn't tell you that it's going to describe who we are.
Right.
Like, so it's not, even though it's more meaningful of a description than just an image name, it doesn't give us the information that we would need to know where we were going.
Okay. Thank you.
Mhm.
If an image is marked decorative and it's a clickable link, will it skip the image entirely as a link, or will it still go to it because it's a link?
So it will, I believe it'll still link as a link.
Okay.
It just won't read that it's a graphic.
Other questions? Okay, I'm going to go find Project WIT.
JAWS subscription. Links list dialog. Links list view. Adults standing under a tree in a circle at a... Who we are. 5 of... 3 people. What we do. 7.
Oh,
Learn more. 9 of... Rebecca Shepard has left. Events. 11 of 25. Copy of IMG2. Education. 13 of 25. Rothschild. Enter. No links. Home KI Google Chrome. Home KI Google Chrome page. Home KI main region. Heading level 3 building a sustainable...
It didn't go
is it
anywhere.
not doing it?
20.
Huh,
Heading level 3 building a
that's
sustainable...
weird. All right, I'll go down there and find it.
Visited link graphic copy of... Visited link events. Visited link education. Enter. Curriculum programs. Curriculum programs.
And that wasn't a you guys issue. That was a JAWS being a brat issue, which happens.
Walking in nature graphic.
All right.
Visited link KI book club February 20. Visited link RSVP. Visited link www. Curriculum
Go
program.
back up.
Visited link www.ki.org. Visited link KI. Visited link graphic IMG 35.
Right now, I'm jumping to links that I've already visited. I can jump through visited links or unvisited links, and I know I've been on this page, so
From
I'm
Roberta
just
Bernstein.
jumping through the links
Visited
here.
link graphic KI April train. Visited link upcoming workshops. Visited link graphic project WET.
There it is.
Enter. Main region list with 6 items. Project WET link graphic to active.
And
Kentucky
I'm gonna
Association
jump
for
down to
Environmental.
the main area.
Heading level 1 project WET. Project link graphic project WET. Project WET is dedicated to solving critical environmental challenges by teaching the world about water.
And I'm just going down the page with my down arrow.
Project WET is water education today. The mission of Project WET is to advance water education to understand global challenges and inspire local solutions. Among many things, Project WET provides curricula and resources focused on water education. Through an innovative partnership with Link Kentucky Division of Water KDOW. KI provides the daily operational activities of Project WET in Kentucky. KDOW serves as the host institution of Project WET and provides essential funding for the program from the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency under Section 319H of the Clean Water Act. For more information, contact one of the following.
All right. And then these are going to be a bunch of emails and things, and I'm not going to let it read all of this just for time
List of 3 items.
purposes.
Bullet Brittany Ray. Send mail link Brittany. Bullet Amber Hawkins. At send mail link Amber. Bullet Michaela. Send mail link Michaela. List end. Read graphic.
There's a graphic that's not
Expand image
labeled.
button. Heading level 3 what Project WET offers. Next item button.
Okay, and here's what we wanted to show you. So I get a next item button,
Link learn more about project. Next item button.
but to me, there's nothing there.
Heading next item
I'm going to
button.
hit this
Space.
button just to see what happens.
Previous item button. Next item button. Link learn more about next item. Previous item. Heading level 3 what project.
And I can't see it at all. And I know because Carol's told me that it's a carousel of things, but to a screen reader user, it's invisible.
So basically hiding things in a carousel would be almost equivalent to just hiding words in an image.
Mhm. And I think there are ways of making carousels visible to a screen reader because I've seen some, but I'm not completely sure, about all the plugins and things like that.
So I know that one of the questions I'm getting a lot of people asking me here, this is Roberta, I'm being asked, is there a way that we can have our webpage read to us and identify, or experience what you do without
Mhm.
like getting JAWS or one of those programs? I
Mhm.
know computers have some built-in readers associated with them. I tried to use mine a few years ago and I was totally lost, but
Yes, so that's the issue. There is a built-in screen reader in Windows. It's called Narrator. If you go into your settings and the accessibility section, then you can find it there and you can play with it to your heart's content. There is also a more robust screen reader that is free. It's called NVDA, Non-Visual Desktop Access. You can download that. It's free. It's open source. So if you want one to play with, I encourage you to go get that one. It's closer to almost no one uses Narrator as their primary screen reader. All the blind people say that's the screen reader you use to go get a better screen reader. So if you're
From
going to
sharing
play
proud to
with
everyone,
it,
so
I would go get NVDA. There is
And
also, yep, Carol, I was
just-
about to ask
that's
you.
okay. I was going to say that you can download NVDA to a flash drive.
Mhm.
So, and it can run from the flash drive. You do not
Yes.
have to install it on a state or, other agency controlled computer. You can run it directly from the flash drive.
Yes, but Carol, tell them about
From
that
Roberta Burns,
other
G/.
program that I cannot remember the name of that
Andy,
will give you
or
a readout of what the screen reader would tell you. You know what I'm talking about?
I'm not sure which one. There's different things. But if I show you, there is a bookmarklet. This is really simple to use with web pages
From Roberta Burns,
that
G/.
will
Chi Division.
show
Let
you.
me stop sharing screen.
Yeah,
JAWS subscription. The screen sharing meeting controls. Alt S.
I will share my screen so you guys can see. Okay. So I'm going to close Andy first. All right. So I have a bookmarklet, and it's called Andi, A-N-D-I. And it will tell me a lot of things about this website. But one of them is it tells me what a screen reader you would say when you're on a thing. So right now, my mouse is on this Kentucky Project Wet Water Educator Today. And up on the top of the screen where it says Andi Output Project Wet. So that's what Sam would hear when she was listening to this particular thing. So right now I've gone up to where the menu bar is, and it says more about pages, programs, more program pages, resources, more resources pages, get involved, more get involved pages, events plus news, more events plus news pages. And then it tells us that this is a focusable element that is not in the keyboard tab order, which is why Sam can't get to all these things, is because it's not in that tab order. So each thing that I put this on, it will tell me if it has anything to say. And this again here, like I have for Sam, I have my mouse hovering on one of the things in that carousel for Project Wet. And this it says focusable element is not in the keyboard tab order and has no accessible name should it be tappable. So that's has no name, and you can't get to it using your keyboard only. So that's one way. And that Andi bookmarklet, I was able to download that and install it on my Sake computer without having to get COT involved. And it just works as a bookmark on my browser. And it tells you what anything would say. So just like here, the login button, it says login. So it would say it, but it says also it's not in the tab order. It tells us, it can tell us a lot of other things. When we go to structures, it tells us what the headings on the page are. Like heading 1, Project Wet, which is great. That's exactly what we want the heading 1 to be. And then it says heading 3, what Project Wet offers. So you should think of headings like an outline like you would do back in school, so that things should be heading 1, then under heading 1, you might have several heading 2s, and under heading 2s is where the heading 3s would go. Like it should build like that rather than be more related to like the size of the text or whatever. So we
And the
have
purpose behind that is because that's how I skim read something. Obviously, you guys saw how I moved through that page with the down arrow. And if I have to read every single word of something that's on a 200-page document, that's awful, and trying to get to something. So the heading structure really helps me if I'm trying to see, you know, what content is in this document. That's my skim reading.
So with very little time left in our session today. I know a lot of people are probably asking a lot of questions in their brain as this stuff is rolling around. You know, how, if I'm using a particular platform to build my, nonprofit's website on, how do I find out if how to fix these kinds of things? I guess would people just Google their particular program and with the word accessibility and hope that provides them with some guidance on that?
So I think I'm still sharing my screen. Is that correct? Can you guys see the
Yes.
CATS Network
CATSnet,
webpage?
yes. Mhm.
All right, so the Sam and I both work for the CATS Network, and as I said, that's our Assistive Technology Act project here. And we do have resources on our website about accessibility in for different types of documents and presentations and things like that. But we also have one on accessible web pages. And here, there's a lot of practical tips. Now, it's not going to necessarily tell you within your own builder what to use. And I'm going to tell you right now on our CATS Network webpage, we're doing a complete redesign because what we used to build the website many years ago is no longer supported. And so we can no longer do the accessibility things we need to do on it. So we are in the process of rebuilding this page. But as you go down, it's got the tips that you can look at, but it also has free testing tools. One that we use quite often is called Wave, but it gives you steps on what you should do to look at Wave. And then it also gives you this Andy accessibility tool that I've been showing you. And there's links there, so you don't even have to search them up. You can just click on them and it'll take you right to where you go and tell you how to activate it, and then give you a set of steps that you can follow to see where you might need to work on your particular website. So just, if you remember catsnet.org.
And I put it in the chat a couple of times.
Excellent.
Got that.
Yep. And there are so many other tools, but if we get to come back next time, we will get to show you a lot of different tools that you can use to look at things like this.
For sure. And we've got what was I going to say? I think also a lot of folks don't necessarily have 100% control over some of the design elements on their website. I've noticed when I use the Wave tool on our website, a lot of the architecture of our website is out of our control, and the Wave tool, of course, is returning errors. For the little home icon that doesn't have any words associated with it and things like that. We can't change that. We don't have any ability to change that. And so I'm sort of in a state right now where I'm afraid of making my website folks even more scared about errors that they don't have any control over. And I'm trying to help them focus on the things that they do: descriptive link text, hierarchical headings, remove extra spaces between text, alt text on everything that requires it, that kind of thing. Let's fix what my motto right now is: fix what we can and put the rest in a bucket and identify it and catalog it and get help if we need it, but fix what we can.
And you're going to prioritize making your website usable.
Yeah.
So you're going to fix what you can in order that just like your website, Sam was able to go sign up for the book club. So that's a win. Everything was not, perfect and as easy and as it could be. And you saw how much longer it will take somebody with a screen reader. We want to make it as easy as possible because it does take a long time to skim through things if you're using a screen reader. You have to be very good at auditory processing. I will say that.
Yeah, I often give the analogy of, opening up a physical copy of the New York Times, and all of the text is the same size. There are no headers. Everything is body text. Good luck finding, the story you're looking for. You have to read everything to find it. So yeah, that's why we use our hierarchical headings, and super helpful. Super helpful.
And for the things that you guys don't have control over, pass it on up the chain. We appreciate anybody becoming an advocate for accessibility. So if you see something that's wrong and you don't have control over it, and somebody that you can email that maybe is up the chain that does have control over that, let them know, hey, this is inaccessible.
Yeah, that's a great next step.
Yeah. I wanted to make
Go
sure
ahead.
that we got to read this, a couple of the chat messages before we close today. Earlier in the call, Stacy mentioned that she says, I can't fathom the amount of time it takes to do just basic tasks if it's not accessible. And then we had another question about screen readers, which Samantha answered, and headings, which I answered. Always use the built-in heading styles that Word or PowerPoint provide. You can modify them to suit your needs. Stacy says, thank you all so much. This has been very enlightening. Appreciate the positivity. It's easy to get bogged down in feeling like we're not able to do enough. A lot of good feedback here. So any last thoughts, Brittany?
No, I'm just, like I said, grateful to learn. And my first priority is to go fix that navigation menu that it will be fixed today. Just please know. And I appreciate you all so much. I'm gonna share my screen real quick just so we can run through next steps. It is 12:29, so if anyone has to hop off at 12:30, please feel free to do so. But David's gonna wrap us up here, and then we will hopefully see you all in April. And one note, someone did ask about a recording for this. We will share the recording. We're gonna work with Carol and Samantha just to make it the most accessible version of the recording that it can be before we share it. So it won't come out right away, but as soon as it's available, we will blast it across the network and the socials and everything so everybody can see and catch up. And then hopefully you can join us for the next one. So take it away, David.
Okay. And the links for the things that I'll mention, our next steps, will be in the chat. Brittany will be dropping those momentarily. But we do have our next EE Community of Practice Accessibility to Digital Spaces Part 2 on April 1st. And we will be discussing what now, next steps in improving your digital documents. Additional ways that you can connect, we have the KE Book Club, February 24th, 2 to 3 p.m., where they'll be discussing Aldo Leopold's Sand County Almanac. March 24th, 2 to 3 p.m., Silent Spring by Rachel Carson.
Awesome. Thank you all again, Samantha and Carol and Roberta. Just cannot get over how grateful I am for y'all's expertise and your help. Have so much work to do, but it's exciting work to get to do it. So I hope y'all have a great rest of your day and everybody's staying warm. And hopefully these kids will go back to school this week. I mean, my goodness. It's good to see y'all. Have a great day.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, everybody.
And Britt,